In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
Welcome to the Nutritional Pearls Podcast, featuring Nutritional Therapy Practitioner Christine Moore and hosted by veteran health podcaster Jimmy Moore. Listen in as they feature nuggets of nutritional knowledge and provide practical application of what to do with this newfound dietary wisdom in your pursuit of optimal health. Visit our website, nutritionalpearlspodcast.com, to explore more nutritional pearls that could change your life. And now it's time to blow you away with today's featured nutritional pearl. Here's Jimmy and Christine.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website if you're interested in the show, and today we have our special crossover episode. We always do the crossover episode for the Nutritional Pearls Podcast here on Jimmy Rants. So, if you're not already following me on a regular basis with Jimmy Rants, go follow me. Go to JimmyRants.com. You can see how you can engage live here on Instagram. We're also simulcasting over here on Facebook. So go check it out, you guys. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live. But if you missed the live here on Instagram, you get 24 hours to watch it on replay. Here on Facebook, you can watch it whenever you'd like. Definitely share in all of your favorite groups. We also have all the past episodes up on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/livinglowcarbman, put in the keyword Jimmy Rants. You'll find the show over there on YouTube. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show are in podcast form. It's the Jimmy Rants Podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. So we're about to start the show, Nutritional Pearls Podcast, and we got a doozy for you guys here today. So here we go. Hey guys, we're back here on the Nutritional Pearls Podcast, nutritionalpearlspodcast.com. My name's Jimmy Moore, international bestselling author of Keto Clarity and Real Food Keto. And my co-author on Real Food Keto just happens to be a nutritional therapy practitioner, NTP. Her name, Christine Moore. I call her Christina Wiener. I call her the lovely, the talented, the beautiful, the yes dear. What else do I call you? Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, so we've got quite the show. What we talk about here, you guys, is we generally look at topics in the world of nutrition through the prism of a nutritional therapy practitioner. And this week, you guys, I found this YouTube video of a lady who has quite the following. So if you're online and you've heard of 70 Pounds of Life, that's Marissa Dawn. And Marissa has almost 100,000 followers on YouTube. And so she puts out there information about weight loss and health and fitness. She's a personal trainer. And so she's very well known in the YouTubing online world. And she recently decided to start a ketogenic diet and to give it a go. Well, just this week, she did a whole video of why she stopped keto. So it was about a 13.5-minute video. I watched it all the way through. And as I was sitting there watching it, Christine, I was like, are you hearing what she's saying? And your initial reaction was like, oh, we so have to do a Nutritional Pearls podcast to respond to it. And I certainly don't want it to be where we're beating up on Marissa, because I think she's probably doing a lot of good work with what she's doing with her videos. So please, Marissa, if you're watching this, don't misunderstand what we're doing here. We're going to try to help you understand maybe some of the things that were going on, maybe why keto didn't respond as well for you. And we've got very specific clips, you guys, from that video. I've whittled it down to about 3.5 minutes worth of clips. But just for those of you that don't know who she is,
Girly Squad. Welcome back to 70 Pounds of Life. My name's Marissa Dunn. And
she's been out there for a few years talking about her weight loss journey. I think she's lost about 90 pounds, and she's always trying new things. And as a personal trainer, she's constantly seeing clients come to her using keto. So she wanted to try it for herself. If she has clients using keto, she wanted to see how it would work for her. So let's hear about her keto experiment and why she decided to do it.
So I did keto strictly because I had started it and I did it for 2 weeks and then I got off. But I really did it strictly for, I would say, 5 weeks. It was helping with the weight loss. I did lose about 12 pounds.
So she lost 12 pounds. She was strict on her keto. She did it for about 5 weeks. That's a pretty good clip of weight loss over 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So she gave it a go, did it for 5 weeks, and she lost 12 pounds. So that's pretty good. Obviously, weight loss is not the only benefit that you get from going on a ketogenic diet, but the fact that she lost weight is pretty typical, actually. All right, so let's see what happened.
And I decided that I was going to give keto a try because I had been hearing a lot of really great things about it. I'm also a personal trainer now, so I have clients who are doing keto, so I wanted to have firsthand experience of doing keto, but also if it worked for me to help get some more weight off of me.
All right, so she primarily went keto as a means of connecting with her clients, and if it happened to give her the bonus of losing a little more weight, then everybody's happy, right?
Yep.
So let's see what happened.
I quit keto. I did. I quit it.
Yeah.
So she sounded a little too happy. That's the first thing you said when you heard her say, I quit keto. I did it.
She sounded proud of it.
Yeah, it was a little bit, you could tell from the start when she said that, because that was really close to the beginning of the video where she said, I quit keto. I did it. Because of what she's about to share in the video, you could tell that she was like, oh my God, thank God I quit keto.
Yeah.
And so we want to kind of go over all of the things that happened that made her want to quit keto. We know she lost 12 pounds in 5 weeks that she did keto. 5 weeks, you guys, is kind of right on that edge of whether you actually got keto adapted or not. That was another concern.
Yeah, some people it takes 6-8 weeks.
It could take 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Although she was probably eating relatively clean before this, having lost 90 pounds on, I think she counts macros is what she called it. And so she'd already done pretty well. So she probably did get in the ketogenic state within just a couple, 2 to 4 weeks, which is typical for most people. But only doing it for 5 weeks, it's possible she wasn't fully keto adapted yet. Right. All right, let's hear some more of why she quit keto.
Keto was causing some issues for me.
Issues. And we're about to find out some of those issues and what we're doing here today. If you're just joining us, we are doing the Jimmy Rants Nutritional Pearls Podcast crossover episode. And we're talking about this brand new video that came out this week from Marissa Dawn. She is a very popular YouTuber called 70 Pounds of Life. Almost 100,000 followers. So kudos to you, Marissa, for building your audience like that. But she constantly does videos encouraging her followers about her weight loss journey, which she's personally lost 90 pounds, but also giving them tips on fitness and all sorts of things. So here is some of what she was talking about, why she needed to quit keto.
Different things work for different people. So just because keto was really great for somebody else does not necessarily mean that it's going to be really great for everybody.
What do we call that?
Bioindividuality.
We talk about that all the time. A lot of times people will peg me, oh, you want everybody to eat keto. And I'm like, no, I actually don't. I actually don't care how anyone else chooses to eat because we are all different and we all have different nutritional needs.
And I want to say up front that I appreciate her saying that because too often people say, well, this diet worked for me, so it has to work for you.
Right.
Well, they're totally neglecting the bioindividuality. However, the way she did this video, she was attributing things to keto.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, that wasn't keto. So
we're going to get into that. All right, so you guys ready to hear what Marissa's complaints were with keto that caused her to, I quit keto. I did it. You ready? You guys seem asleep today. We're going to wake them up here. Get ready for this. Ooch, 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 ooch. All right, here we go.
Me. There were a few side effects that I got that I really did not enjoy, and to me they just weren't worth it.
Okay, so she got some side effects, she said, that she describes as not worth it. So you know obviously what she's about to say because we listened to it.
Yeah.
But what would be something that someone might complain about that's not necessarily what she said, but just what would be something that immediately people would say, hey, I tried keto, but whoa, that just wasn't worth it. What kind of comes to mind for you as an NTP?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of facets to this. They say they can try keto or that they did keto.
Yeah.
But what was their food like? Were they testing? Did they know they were in ketosis?
Oh, yes. The testing of ketosis is so critical. And testing blood sugar, I think, is important.
Yeah.
Just so you know where you stand. And relying too heavily on what the scale weight is doing, I think is probably another one that could be a problem.
You know, some people could experience brain fog or something like that, but that goes in with the electrolytes or the adaptation period if they're not getting enough calories, whatever.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that could make people want to quit, and they call it side effects of keto. Let's hear more about Marissa and specifically what happened to her.
When I was on keto, I was breaking out so badly, and it wasn't just a little bit. I mean, it was like all under my chin. I was breaking out so badly.
All right, so she was having breakouts while she was eating keto. Now, interestingly, acne and various breakouts can happen when your insulin is higher.
Yeah.
So if you lower the insulin and you have a diet that lowers insulin, it's a little bit difficult to think that keto, which is an anti-insulin type of diet, it lowers insulin. It doesn't raise insulin.
Right. My theory on this is this. When you go keto or when you start eating real food from, you know, if you can't handle carbohydrates in the form of brown rice or starches or whatever, you're going to have a detox period. And so these breakouts might be an indication of a detox happening, or it could be an indication that she is having trouble detoxing. So oftentimes when you start to detox, you're going to feel worse in the short term. Once your body starts getting rid of it, what's happening is your body is mobilizing these toxins and trying to get rid of them out of your urine and your feces through this transported with the bile.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes you will feel worse in the short term, but that gets better.
Well, and the fact that she was only on this for 5 weeks, she probably did have some of that early on. And then here's the thing too, when you start having those issues, and she even said it, not in this clip that I shared here, but she said it kind of started working on her psychologically.
And we'll get into that.
Of what was going on when she saw that happening. So she probably fed into it a little bit with the worry.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Our brains are very complex, and the way we think, the things that we say, even to ourselves, they're very powerful.
Oh, yeah. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about this YouTuber, her name Marissa Dawn, and she goes by 70 Pounds of Life over on YouTube. Very popular, extremely popular, tens of thousands, almost 100,000 followers, subscribers over on YouTube. And about 5 weeks ago, she decided to start on a ketogenic diet. And this week she posted a very public confession of keto didn't work for her. And so we're going over here on this Jimmy Rant's Nutritional Pearls podcast crossover all of the things that she claims happened because of keto. And we have some commentary that might actually help Marissa. I truly hope that she sees this video or listens to this podcast. All right, you ready for the next thing?
Yep.
Here we go.
I just do not feel like I was getting enough calories. I would feel so satiated, which is how you're supposed to feel on keto. I would feel so satiated and like full that I wouldn't want to eat. I have 2 large meals a day, and it's not like I was forcing myself to eat like 2,000 calories. I was only eating like 600, 700 calories a day, and that is not okay.
All right, so she was eating a ketogenic diet, and she was trying to get adequate calories, but she ran into the trouble of not being hungry enough because of the satiating effects of the ketones. And I get this a lot, you guys. I get questions all the time from people that say, hey, I'm trying to get in all this adequate calories, but I'm having like 600-700 calories, and that's all I can get in. How would you help a client, Christine, like Marissa, who says that it's almost impossible for her to get in enough calories? And she was kind of mocking 2,000 calories. I think 2,000, which we'll find out later, she also likes to work out. 2,000 is probably a goal.
Yeah. So my first thought when somebody says that I think in the video she said she didn't feel like eating.
Right.
That's a red flag to me that her digestion is off. So
meaning that she felt blah when she didn't want to eat, because of that blah feeling.
Yeah, so she's probably not producing enough stomach acid, and so the food is going to sit in her stomach longer than it needs to, and so this keeps you from feeling like you need to eat. So some people like myself, I usually don't feel like eating in the morning,
right?
And that's a sign of some hypochloridria or low stomach acid. So
right.
Of course she's
which 90% of the people have.
Yeah. So of course she's not going to feel like eating because she's still got food in her stomach from the last meal.
Well, and we ran the numbers, you guys. Let's just act like that she's having 30 grams of carbs. So 30 grams of carbs, there's 4 calories for every gram of carbohydrate. That's 120. Okay, so then let's act like she has some modicum of protein, but not overly high. 60 grams of protein. So 60 you multiply times 4, and that's 240. So you've got between those two 360 calories, and then to get to the 600, she only has about 240 more calories left to come from fat. So you divide the 240 by 9, and that's less than 30 grams of fat. She was severely undernourishing her body.
Yeah.
I think that she probably should have bumped up the protein quite a bit more. If it was 60, we don't know what it was. I'm just assuming it was 60. She didn't describe any of the food she was eating.
Right, exactly.
We don't know what keto food she was having. But if she bumped up the 60 grams of protein to say 100 to 120, depending on her workout schedule, which she says later in the video that she works out quite a bit, and then allowed the fat to come to satiety, she would have easily gotten into a very comfortable range of calories that would have made this work for her possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand if she is not producing enough stomach acid, I can totally understand her not feeling like she needs to eat because she does still have food in the stomach, but she is blaming keto.
Yeah, it's not a keto thing
when it's probably a digestive issue.
So what would you suggest to her to help try to heal some of that hypochloridria? Is that what you called it?
Chloridria, yeah.
Chloridria.
So I would want to know if she doesn't have any stomach ulcers or anything like that. I would suggest that she take HCl supplementation.
Hydrochloric acid.
I would probably have her on zinc and B6, which are necessary for stomach acid production.
Which is in red meat.
Yep. And then I would have her take some digestive enzymes to help digest the proteins and some of the fats.
You and I take digestive enzymes.
Yeah.
What's that one from Biotics that you use as an NTP?
I use Beta Plus.
Beta Plus.
You use Beta TCP since you still have a gallbladder.
Yes. So, again, if you're just joining us, we're going over some of the complaints that were made by Marissa Dawn. She's a YouTuber, goes by 70 Pounds of Life on YouTube, very popular channel. And she tried a ketogenic diet and she wasn't seeing very optimal results. So I said, okay, let's see what her concerns are, and let's see if we can help Marissa out. So that's what we're doing here today, going over. We're going to go to the next clip with some more complaints she had about keto.
But my anxiety got so bad. I remember at one point, like every day at the same time, my anxiety would come up. I looked it up, and there have been studies done showing that keto can cause a higher level of anxiety or depression for some people. I have been off of keto for about a week now, and I haven't had any issues with anxiety.
Okay, this was a funny one to me, because one of the hallmark things that people say when they go on the ketogenic diet is how much more chill they are, how their mood improves, how depression and anxiety actually gets better. I'm not sure what study she's referring to, if it was a randomized controlled clinical trial that she's citing with the study that said that keto makes anxiety worse. But gut feeling, what'd you think about that complaint?
So immediately 2 theories popped into my head. First off, she said that the anxiety happens at the same time or right around the same time every day. Well, that kind of makes me think she's having an inappropriate cortisol response. And so that in itself can raise blood sugar and create anxiety. The other thing, you know that the thyroid, or most of y'all probably know that the thyroid is responsible for regulating metabolism. But thyroid is also responsible for helping with the production of stomach acid. The stomach acid is what is mainly used to digest the proteins that we eat, breaks them down into amino acids. The amino acids are what form neurotransmitters.
Yep.
So
which is brain chemicals.
So yeah, brain chemicals, and so like serotonin and dopamine, those sort of things. So that's where So she already said that she was eating 600 to 700 calories a day. So what happens when you do that? Your metabolism slows down.
Hypocaloric.
So your thyroid function starts to slow down. You stop producing enough stomach acid to digest those proteins that you're eating, and so you don't have the amino acids necessary to create those neurotransmitters that help you feel good.
Which is why eating adequate calories is so critical. It's why we talk about it so often. When you go keto, don't under-eat calories. Here's what happens, you guys. I talk about this usually within the context of fasting, but it's apropos here with Marissa because she's so under-eating. She's giving her body the signal, okay, it's a feasting day.
Yeah.
So your body is getting 500, 600, 700 calories, and then it's like, all right, keep it coming, all right. And then when you don't give it any more, it's going to kind of rebel against you.
Yeah.
It would almost be better had she totally fasted than to only eat 600 or 700 calories. And we even talked about this the other day when we first watched this. I wonder what would have happened if Marissa had fasted on a whole day and then feasted the next day with the 1,400 calories that would be part of the 2 meals, and then fasted the next day. I think she would have done far better with this.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty amazing. All right, let's continue.
I love having fruit, and I love having unlimited veggies. I love fresh fruit and fresh veggies. And if you eat a banana on keto, it's going to throw you out of ketosis.
All right, the first thing I heard when she said that I love fruit and I love unlimited veggies, I heard sugar addiction, sugar addiction, sugar addiction.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, you can't say that about fruits and vegetables. You bet I can. Because yes, it's natural, but yes, it does have elements in it, the sugar, the fructose primarily, especially in the fruit, that are highly addictive and highly responsive in the body. And depending on what she's meaning by unlimited vegetables, I don't know if she means green leafy or if she's talking about starchy tubers like sweet potatoes. What's she talking about?
Right. Well, here's the thing. The body doesn't know the difference between the sugar. It doesn't make the distinction between the sugar in a candy bar versus the sugar in fruit, because it all in the body reacts the same way.
Although you'll have some people that'll say, well, Christine, though, there's lots of vitamins and micronutrients that are in the real food, starchy, blah, blah, blah.
So she mentioned banana. you can get just as much, twice as much potassium in an avocado.
Yes. We even saw potassium in the ribeye steak the example we gave a few weeks ago on the Nutritional Pearls podcast has a ton of it as well.
And especially if you do the organ meats, I mean, there's no essential carbohydrate. You have your essential amino acids and your essential fatty acids, but you don't have any essential carbohydrates.
Carbohydrate acids.
Go.
That's what I say often. There is no carbohydrate acid. All right, let's continue.
So I just felt extremely restricted. Like it was just a lot. The amount that I had to restrict on the carbohydrates was a lot. And also in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, I've lost weight before with being able to eat like brown rice.
So there's the addiction again.
Yep.
Oh, well, I lost weight before on brown rice. And when she's like, well, I felt so restricted. See, here's the thing that gets me about this mentality. And thank you again, Marissa, for articulating this. But I think it's an error when we start looking at food as protein, carbohydrate, and fat. We don't eat protein, carbohydrate, and fat. We eat food. And so when you look at it as totality as food, then if you have steak and vegetables and bacon and dairy and butter and all the other delicious things you can have, non-starchy green leafy vegetables, all the things you can have on a ketogenic approach, for example, you don't look at it as restrictive. You can have all of that you want. Yeah. She mentioned brown rice and that she, quote, loses weight and has lost weight on it. We've all lost weight eating crap before, or eating less than ideal foods before.
Yeah.
It looks to me like, Christine, that she's putting a lot of the onus of her success or failure on keto on its ability to lose weight.
Right.
And any diet plan. It looks like weight loss is her major parameter. And Marissa, please hear me loud and clear. You are a young girl that's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
And you have some semblance of insulin resistance that got you to be overweight and obese already. You have to be aware that as you get to 30 and 40, I would estimate she's probably in her upper 20s, in your 30s and 40s, you're going to find that a lot of the health markers are far more important than all the weight loss in the world. Right?
Yep.
Did you not have anything else to say?
No, I just lost my train of thought. I was just going to say that she did put the main focus on the weight loss. It bothers me the way she said she felt so restricted, because on keto we can have all sorts of stuff, sorts of yummy stuff. So, and I tend to think that the things that she felt restricted with the brown rice and the banana, that's a sugar addiction. That's something that's the reason why she felt restricted.
Well, and see, here's the thing. She said she could only eat about 600 or 700 calories on keto. She can eat more calories having things like bananas and brown rice because it's stoking hunger that's forcing her to have to eat more. It's a really weird kind of psychology going on here. Well, I couldn't eat as much, and that's not okay that I only ate 600 to 700 calories, and yet you want to eat brown rice and bananas, which we know stoke hunger, stoke insulin that make you want to eat more. It's weird. All right, let's continue.
Because I deal with food addiction, thinking about something that I absolutely cannot have is kind of a trigger for me.
So we just mentioned that. She thinks about foods that she, quote, cannot have, and it's kind of a trigger for her. Well, don't say that you cannot have it. I think the way you talk to yourself about these things matters. So if you say, I cannot have, then yes, I can see how that could trigger some compulsion to want to have that thing that you cannot have. I think a better way to frame it is I choose not to have for the sake of my health.
Exactly. I mean, I try to focus on everything that we can have. Look, I get to have bacon every morning if I want to.
Not that turkey crap either, man.
Right? The real stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
I personally do not see keto as a long-term way of eating. I'm going to go back to a more balanced way of eating.
There it is.
All right. Oh, that just gets my goat.
I think she probably went into keto assuming it was, quote, unbalanced. and assuming that she needed to eat from all the major food groups. You know, this is all the normal stuff that I've heard for 15 years about the Atkins diet, then about paleo, and now about keto. They always think you're unbalanced somehow. There's no need for you to have whole grains. There's no reason for you to have bananas. There's no reason for you to have brown rice. All of those things are things that you just have no essentialness to in your diet.
Yeah. I want to know why she thinks keto is unbalanced. If it's because you're limiting carbohydrates, again, you can have carbohydrates in the form of leafy greens and a few berries here and there, but it's if you eat real whole foods, you're still getting a balanced diet. Again, we don't have there's no essential carbohydrates. So anyway.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's frustrating because you know she's trying to get somewhere with this.
Yeah.
But it's the road by which she's getting there that she's kind of getting off the rails. All right, let's finish it up. It's almost done, I think.
Guys, I like to lift weights. I felt like my muscles were kind of deteriorating. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys or not, but my workouts, like I just was not able to keep up with the workouts, like the stamina of the workouts before I started keto versus while I was on keto. I wasn't able to do the same intensity.
So, Marissa, the reason your intensity in the gym was not the same was you were severely under eating calories. Mm-hmm. So, guys, we've already talked about she only eats 600 to 700 calories in a day on her keto. Now she's adding in the wrinkle of some exercise. I don't know what she does, if she lifts weights or if she does high intensity exercise, but that requires a whole lot more consumption of total calories in a day. Mm-hmm. I think she's blaming keto for all the problems that are associated with a hypocaloric diet.
Well, and see, here's another thing too. She mentions that she's still trying to work out while she's doing keto. Well, if you're very physically active like that, that makes you hungry. And so the fact that she said that she wasn't able to eat more than 600 to 700 calories in a day is another sign that it was a digestive issue rather than being satiated, you know. But
on her workout thing, she's saying that she didn't have as much strength. We do know that there is a keto adaptation period, but she hasn't done keto with adequate calories yet.
Right.
I think once you get keto to adequate calories and once you go through that keto adaptation period in that first couple of weeks, you might see a decline in strength, a decline in energy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But because of the work of Dr. Steve Phinney from the 1980s, he did a study on elite athletes, and they saw the same thing, that their performance level went down in that first couple weeks, but he went one more week, and then the third week they came back to where they were at baseline once they made that switch over from being a sugar burner to a fat burner.
So again, the thyroid helps regulate metabolism. So if she is severely under eating, then her thyroid function is going to slow down. You're going to have that lack of energy. Your metabolism is going to slow down. And of course, your workout's going to suffer. And, you know, she said that she felt like her muscles were, what did she call it? Deteriorating?
Deteriorating muscles.
Of course she felt that way. Because
if you know what that means, is what she said.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what that means.
I kind of know what she's talking about there. But, of course, she feels that way because she's severely
malnourished,
hypocaloric. She's not getting enough protein and enough fat for her workouts.
But then she blamed it on keto. But again, she's blaming it on keto, but she should be blaming it on hypocaloric.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's tough when you're so satiated on keto, you don't feel like eating enough. I get those questions all the time. Yeah. For those people, do you have any suggestions about how they can up their calories even just a little bit to try to get somewhat close to normal number of calories?
I mean, it could be as simple as adding a teaspoon of some sort of fat, like butter or a fatty sauce to a steak or something like that. Or
an extra couple of ounces of steak.
Yeah, it could be as simple as that.
Yeah, which would give them both fat and protein as well. All right, I know we're coming close to the end, so let's try to finish this up.
Then I started to notice that I was getting injuries. So I had a knee injury, which is really what's on top of my brain right now.
So she had a knee injury that probably was the big thing that pushed her over the edge to stop keto. She's again blaming keto for her knee injury. What, she slip on some bacon grease? So what how did she injure her knee? And how does keto have anything to do with that?
Well, I mean, so since she was so hypocaloric, she wasn't getting the nutrients that her body needed. So we know that proteins are the building blocks of our body. So if she's not getting enough protein, then it's going to stand to reason that she gets injuries. If she's hypocaloric like that, she's not going to be getting the nutrients necessary for the connective tissue. She's not going to be getting enough of the essential fatty acids to help with energy and heart health, and it's your brain primarily runs on fat. So I mean, these
you call me a fathead?
I am. So it's the hypocaloric state that she was in that was probably responsible for this injury.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I just feel like eating on keto did not mix well with my body.
All right. So that was it, you guys. She didn't think keto, quote, mixed well with her body. And I would make the contention after hearing, and I watched the whole thing, 13 and a half minutes, a couple of times just to make sure I got everything, and then whittled it down to like those 3.5 minutes worth of clips. To me, she never did keto.
Right.
She did a starvation level of calories of only 600 to 700. She didn't want to overeat, nothing like crazy, like 2,000, but I contend she needed probably 2,000 calories for who she was and for her workouts and for her daily needs. And this is probably not uncommon, Christine. You've seen a lot of clients now with your nutritional therapy practice, and you probably see some of these same kind of mistakes that Marissa did with them.
Yeah, several clients. It was very hard for me to convince them that they needed to up their caloric intake because they've listened to the propaganda for so long that it's eat less, move more.
Right.
And no, that's not how it works.
Eat more, move less. Eat more, move less. Well, don't move less, but
no, we want you to move still, but yeah. So it's a hard thing because we've been taught that eating less is better.
Well, and for Marissa, I mean, she's got a lot of influence with the people that follow her. Again, if you came in late, Marissa has a YouTube video series. Her username there, 70 Pounds of Life. So go look her up. I'll probably watch her video. She's got some interesting stuff. She's pretty fun on camera. And has done a great job losing 90 pounds. Yeah. She did not lose the 90 pounds on keto. She did it kind of with a balanced macros, counting your macros kind of diet. And so she wanted to try keto because so many of her clients, she's a personal trainer, were doing it. And she thought, I need to kind of see what this is about. Yeah. My concern is, did Marissa go into it with an open mind, wanting to really see the benefits of keto, or did she have a preconceived notion of what she thought keto was, and then did everything she could to prove her preconceived notion is true? Yeah.
I mean, again, I appreciate that she qualified it up front that keto... just because something didn't work for her doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. I really appreciate that. But again, it's the things that she was attributing to keto when it was actually something else. And so as a nutritional therapy practitioner, I may not recommend keto to everybody that I see as a client because we're all different. We have different needs. So in that regards, hear me when I'm saying I'm not saying all these things because I think everybody should do keto. That takes the bio-individuality out of the picture. So, but I think we need to be careful what we blame on keto when it could be something totally unrelated.
Yeah, I get all kind of questions for my show, Keto Talk, my Thursday show. I have bursitis in my toe. Is that from keto? I have something developing on the backside of my butt. Is that from keto? And I'm going,
how about that keto crotch?
oh, yeah, and the keto crotch, which we now know is a big crock. Yeah, I did a whole Jimmy Rants all about that one recently. Yeah, there's so many things. And for her, it's a bit of a scapegoat, Marissa, when she said, well, if keto works for you, you go ahead. That's fine, but it didn't work for me. And that's all well and good, but you never did keto.
Right.
You did hypocaloric.
Right.
And I would honestly love, Marissa, if you would actually do a well-formulated, low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat, real foods-based, adequate calorie ketogenic diet. Now, I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Marissa. If you find this video, and it's going to be posted everywhere, if you listen to this podcast, the Nutritional Pearls Podcast, I will send you a complimentary autographed copy of my book, Keto Clarity. It explains everything in great detail about how to do keto well. Because I think what she did was she did it kind of willy-nilly. And again, we have no idea what kind of food she ate, what the macronutrient composition was. Was she counting net carbs or total carbs? We don't know anything about what she actually did other than the amount of calories that she consumed, which even she admits was way too low and not cool.
Right, and I would even be willing to send her a copy of Real Food Keto.
All right, yeah, you get the doozy. You get the double doozy. You're going to get Keto Clarity and Real Food Keto.
Because in that, we talk about the stomach acid. We talk about the signs of that. We talk about the importance of the nutrients and the thyroid. We get into all that. So, yeah, I'd be willing to give a copy of that, too.
So, Marissa, if you're finding this, please reach out to us, Jimmy@llvlc.com. And yeah, we would love to bless you with that. We want to see you succeed and give good information to your followers as well. That was the thing that probably disturbed me the most about this, is the 100,000 people that subscribe to Marissa's channel, and they're hearing this information about how keto didn't work when keto probably would have worked if you actually did keto.
And how many people is that going to discourage? Even though she said, just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. People are still going to relate what happened to her, and they're going to say, well, that's going to happen to me, and I don't want that. When no, that's not the case. And I think about how many people that are following her could possibly benefit from a ketogenic diet, and they're not going to try it now because of that video.
That's right. All right, I want to see what you guys have to say. We're going to go to Instagram Live first, then we'll pop over to Facebook Live, see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi, Christine, and you too, Jimmy, says Val. Well, thanks for remembering me. Let's see here. Crossover episode. Yes, Alexander, we do this once a week. How many tries did she give it? And has she ever played with the macros, says Tall Redhead. I think when she does if it fits your macros, it was kind of a mix of all of the various macronutrients, not pushing carbs down way, way low, pushing fat up high, and then getting adequate protein. I don't think she did it that way.
So I think as far as the ketogenic diet itself, she mentioned that she had tried it for 2 weeks and then got off of it.
She did say she got off of it.
And then got off of it, and then she wanted to give it longer, so she did it for 5. So I think she's done it twice.
Yeah.
Done it twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The withdrawal from sugar is brutal, says Tall Redhead.
It is.
Bad, nasty breath can happen early on. Yeah, Medusa. She didn't say anything about that. I guess some of that's normal.
No.
Let's see. I can only imagine what she's going to say when she sees this. Well, Pammy, I hope she does see this. That's one reason we wanted to do this today. We're definitely not attacking Marissa Dawn.
No.
We wanted Marissa to hear from her elders today to give her a little bit of context about what she had going on in her keto attempt.
Yeah.
Most of us, our skin gets better on keto. That's right, Bircham. My skin is fantastic now. However, going through detoxing from sugar was a nightmare, said Medusa. Don't blame keto for what the sugar detox did.
That's right. That's right. You're going to feel worse in the short term, and then that stuff will get better.
Yeah. That's the whole point. You don't want to eat anymore.
Right.
that is a freeing experience. I know it freaks people out because they're like, how am I supposed to get enough food in? I don't feel like eating. You should never, though, as a nutritional therapy practitioner, you would never tell people to, quote, force food.
No.
But what if they're feeling sated, but they haven't eaten for, say, 15, 16 hours? Would you say that maybe they should have another meal if they've only had 600-700 calories in a day?
I think you can fast. I think I would need to know the root cause of why they're feeling that way. That would tell me what I need to do. If they're just feeling that way because they are satiated, then don't eat. There's no harm in fasting.
But I guess what's coming down to this is she's only having the 600 to 700 calories, and that's all she's eating in a day.
If you're going to do that, if you're going to go hypocaloric, don't eat at all. It's worse on your body if you do the 600-700 calories rather than, let's say you don't eat at all.
But what if she says, okay, I'm going to intermittent fast and then only get 600 to 700 calories? So she has the one meal that's 600 to 700 calories, then she intermittent fasts for 23 and a half hours. That's not enough?
So we had talked about this. If she has on one day an adequate caloric intake, then the next day she can fast.
Totally fast.
And then the next day have the adequate calories, and then the next day fast. So she can do alternate day fasting as long as that meal on the days that she's eating is adequate.
Well, and plus with her workout schedule, adequate's going to be even more than 1,400 calories. So Marissa, I hope you got that as a take-home message too. Did she ever test that she was in ketosis? Not that I know of, C-Doc.
She didn't mention it.
She said no mention of that at all, and that's a big mistake. I see a lot of people that claim keto didn't work. Now, at 600 to 700 calories, was she burning ketones? Yes, but I would argue it was starvation ketosis, not nutritional ketosis, and that's why she felt bad.
Yep, big difference.
Let's see here. When one becomes fat adapted, we no longer crave all that crap. She was doing keto all wrong, says Leslie. Sadly. This is frustrating to listen to. In 5 weeks, she hasn't given it a fair trial. It takes longer than that to educate yourself, and it's ongoing. And Pam, she never actually did a well-formulated ketogenic diet, as I described earlier. If she ever does take up our offer on that, we'll also personally coach and counsel her if she'll reach out to us. It looks like she's looking for excuses to get out of it, says Di.
When she started out with, I quit keto. I did.
I loved it.
She seemed to me that she was proud of it, and the fact that I'm going to go back to a balanced diet. She went into it with a certain mentality.
Kitty Caddick says her poor performance cannot be blamed on keto. No, it cannot.
Right.
On carnivore, I lift weights 5 times a week. I'm breaking my old personal record, says Weijuro. And you're eating no carbs.
You're getting the nutrients that your body needs to be able to do that, and you're getting enough calories.
Fat and protein. Yep. She sounds completely clueless and not just about keto. Well, I mean, I think she means well, but the way it came across, she certainly needed to do more homework before she tried a ketogenic diet.
Exactly.
I hope her followers don't take what she's saying too seriously.
Unfortunately, a lot of people are like sheep, and they're going to follow somebody to the letter. And
Medusa says when a person's detoxing from sugar, they do feel like they're going to die. But once you cross that bridge into ketosis, it's beautiful. I experienced that, didn't I? January 1st, 2004, I thought the world was coming to an end. Because I was in so much pain. I was literally like moaning on the couch, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. You were.
No use in being skinny on the outside and fat on the inside, says Leslie. When I ask friends how much fat you ate, they always respond, I ate a lot, all the fat that came with the food, and then they ended up eating chicken thighs, says Alberto. In other words, they didn't get a lot of fat. Her body was talking to her, I don't want food yet. I'm working here with what we need to correct, but she wasn't listening. That's the signal that he thinks that caused her not wanting to eat.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
C-Doc says, so many people think they're doing keto, but unless you prove it by testing blood ketones, you just can't assume it. You are preaching my language, C-Doc. My thoughts are a person has enough on their body to live for a very long time, then this is our reserve tank, talking about stored body fat.
But the key is to
tap into
fast.
Right. Totally fast,
yeah.
Not just cut down on the calories, which is what she did. She never, as far as I know, other than intermittent fasting, she never really gave her body a full-on chance to fast for an extended period. All right, I'm going to go over to Facebook now. Lindy says, I watch Marissa on 70 Pounds of Life. Awesome. Please send this to her if you see her. Let's see. Bring it on. This is so interesting, says Christy. Kimberly says, one of the things that happens early on, going potty every hour, LOL. When you first start getting keto adapted?
It could be part of the detox process.
Sure. Yeah. I have to invest in a Keto Mojo so I can track my numbers. Julia, really any of those popular blood ketone meters would be great.
Yep.
Lindy says, breakouts happened to me, but then went away after a couple of months. Now my skin is perfectly great over a year now.
Yep.
And that's the thing. I think maybe Marissa, and again, she's young, so maybe a little bit of her desire to go on a diet and change something in her nutrition is the vanity aspect. And she's a beautiful young girl who probably is self-conscious about that. And now that she's lost 90 pounds, she has a little more confidence. She wants to look the part, so to speak, and look good. So I don't blame her if after 5 weeks she's like, oh my gosh, all these blemishes. Whereas if she just pushed it a little while longer, she might have seen the benefit.
Yep.
Maxine says keto is anti-inflammatory, so breakouts are not because of keto over the long term.
Right.
Fluctuations in hormones, Louise says, can also increase your acne.
That's right.
My hormones went crazy, says Maxine, after a month on keto. I still don't think my body has fully settled down yet. I'm 5 months in. It does take some time to heal. That it does.
Yeah.
Dang, is she going to go back to the SAD diet at this rate, says Melissa. Well, it's a slippery slope.
I don't know if it's...
I think she's going back to the healthy SAD diet.
Right, exactly. She probably wasn't eating crap, like a lot of processed food. She was eating real whole foods, I imagine, but those real whole foods can still affect your blood sugar. They can affect your hormones. And so... it's like you said, the healthy SAD diet.
Yeah. Lindy says, I don't understand keto causing anxiety or depression. I had exactly the opposite. Yeah.
Again, it goes back to those neurotransmitters. If she is severely undereating, then it's going to slow down her thyroid function. The thyroid helps with the stomach acid production. The stomach acid helps digest the proteins into amino acids. Those amino acids are the precursors to those neurotransmitters, including serotonin, which makes you feel good. So that's that process.
Melissa says, well, I've been depressed. I lost my mom last year in March, and if it wasn't for keto, I know I would have turned to nerve medications and food, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss, by the
definitely.
way. Robbie, my cousin Robbie says, yes, I used to love fruit, but then all the sugars would raise my blood sugar. So no more fruit for me.
Yeah, we're proud of you, Robbie.
Robbie's the man. I love fruit too, but I love feeling healthier, better, says Sherry.
Well, here's the thing.
Hold on, I'm not finished talking. Saying the rest of her comment. I can keep my toes now if I give up bananas.
That's right. So we don't, depending on your situation, is very individualized. If you can tolerate a few berries here and there, always have them with some sort of fat to slow the effect of the carbohydrates.
Yep. Melissa said, dang, I'm 53 now. No more joint pain, no more acid reflux, you name it. Good stuff.
Yep.
I lift just fine with keto, says Lindy. I think she's just making excuses to get out of keto. Let's see here. It's okay if she's not doing keto. It means more foods on the store shelves for us.
More bacon Sherry. For us.
Yes. Maxine, 600 calories and lifting weights ain't gonna cut it. I've some of the best workouts in my life since being keto. My first 2 weeks into keto, my workouts were bleh, but then bam.
Yep.
Did that scare you when I?
No.
You're so used to me doing that.
I know that's you now.
Melissa says she didn't give it near enough time. Where can I find more information? Christine says, Jessica, about stomach acid and thyroid function, like you mentioned. Gee, if there was only a book. Is there a book somewhere?
So we do, if you don't have a copy of Real Food Keto, we get into those things and much more in Real Food Keto.
And the website for Real Food Keto?
What is it? RealFoodKeto.com?
RealFoodKeto.com. We didn't make it hard. See, that's, when we do our podcast, I made the URL very easy to remember. Jessica says the ketogenic diet has put my severe stage 3, I'm going to kill this, hidradenitis suppurativa, HS for short. Yeah, I'm going to call it HS, Jessica, into complete remission now for over 2 years. Wow. That is outstanding. That is outstanding. All right, guys. So we're going to hear a lot of people talk about that they tried a ketogenic diet. People like Marissa Dawn from 70 Pounds of Life on YouTube. And they're going to quote, try it. And they may get less than optimal results. And I'm more than happy to listen and hear anybody that says, hey, I tried that keto. I truly did. I read Keto Clarity. I read Real Food Keto. I understood it. I did it exactly as you guys prescribed. And I did not see the kind of optimal results that I was looking for. I'm sure that's going to happen because of bioindividuality. And so, but at least give it a fair shot. At least if you're going to pretend like that you did keto and then do a big YouTube video that says, oh, I quit keto because, and then all the because has nothing at all to do with keto, I do have problems with that.
Yeah.
And forgive me for being a little bit territorial with keto in that realm, but I think there's enough negativity about keto being thrown out there willy-nilly that if you're going to truly give keto a try, then give keto a try. Don't do it with too few calories. Don't make basic errors.
Don't try to do your version of keto. Get resources out there that tell you how to do it correctly.
Don't not test for nutritional ketosis with a blood ketone meter. Don't not test your blood sugar. Don't rely heavily on the scale to be your be-all, end-all of whether you are successful or not on this. All of these things go into this equation. And it's one reason we wanted to bring it here today on this Jimmy Rants Nutritional Pearls Podcast crossover episode is there are people that will be influenced, like you mentioned earlier, by Marissa sharing this. And I hope for Marissa's sake and for the sake of her followers that they get the good information about how to actually do this well.
Yeah.
Alberto said this is the correct type of response vegans should try on their side when someone publishes why I'm no longer vegan, explaining instead of being violent about it. Yeah, I'm not violent. I mean, I'm okay if Marissa doesn't want to do keto, but she hasn't actually done keto yet.
Right.
I want her to do keto, 90 days, in my opinion, doing a well-formulated ketogenic diet, see how it works for you. And if you're not getting results, then great. Move on with your life to something else. But give keto an honest try, and it will work for you.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of the Nutritional Pearls Podcast, nutritionalpearlspodcast.com. We do air on Mondays on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. My little lady is very tired. We've been working hard this weekend. So go check it out, you guys. And Christine, thanks for joining us here today on our podcast. This was fun.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
All right, Instagram Live. Until next time, we'll see you then.